before we go into physically what I was playing, let's talk about the chord progression. It's a basic 12-bar blues with a little bit of a different turnaround. So my chords are B7 to E9, back to that B7, and now I'm going to go to A7, which gives you my flat flat 7 chord. This is my turnaround. Then I'm back to the 4 chord, which is E9. It's the 1 chord, which is B7. My 5 chord, I'm going to play F sharp 7. We're going to do F sharp 7 sharp 9. Then back to the B7 for the 1 chord. Okay, let's take a look at the voicings I'm doing. For my B7, you're going to see me play this kind of voicing throughout the whole course here. Especially if you're playing kind of funk rhythms, this is the one you want to go for. My thumb comes over the top on the 7th fret of the low string, and my first finger will bar the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings on the 7th fret as well. I'm going to use my second finger and hammer down on the 3rd string up to the 8th fret. So I got that kind of traditional blues thing. I'm going to flatten out my 3rd finger on those same 3 strings, and go back down. And then the little thing I'm going to do here is hit the note with my first finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string. Excuse me, on the 7th fret of the 4th string. So, okay, now when I'm doing this thing with my thumb over the top, I have to be really careful that I mute that 5th string. Really important. Now, to get that whole kind of funk vibe, my right hand is doing a lot of the work. I'm just doing 16th notes as I keep on going. And it's not a straight 16th, it's kind of like a swing 16th. Check it, check it, check it, check it, check it. So like it's kind of like a train feel. I'm accentuating the first one. So let's learn that line. We play it fast first. Okay, so if you notice, my right hand kept on going the whole time. Now let's take that out slow. Now my left hand, the muting there is coming from me lifting up and down the chord. I'm releasing the pressure on the chord, but not enough to let the strings ring out, you know, as open strings, but just enough to stop them, in this case. So down and up. So it's a mixture of those two. Now when I hit this note with my first finger at the very end of the phrase, I got to make sure that no other strings are ringing out except that one, and that's done by releasing the rest of the fingers just enough that that's going to ring out. For my 4 chord, I'm going to go to E9. So it's second finger, 7th fret, first finger, 6th fret of the 4th string, and I'm barring the top 3 strings on the 7th fret with my 3rd finger. And occasionally I'm going to add in a pinky stretch here on the high string on the 9th fret to get an E9 sound. E13 is pinky. Real James Brown kind of thing. So that's... So same thing, the muting is coming from my left hand, so really the rhythm, the accents I should say, are coming from my left hand, and the chugging rhythm is always my right hand. Okay, so I'm back to that B7. Now I'm going to go to A13, instead of, it's an extension of A7, so my thumb, take that same shape from that B7, move it down a whole step, I'm going to put my 3rd finger on the 2nd string on the 7th fret. Back to E9. Back to that B7, and up to E7, F sharp 7 sharp 9, often referred to as the Hendrix chord. So that's my E9 chord. I'm going to slide it up a whole step and put my pinky on the 10th fret of the 2nd string. This one I'm going to get a cool little rhythm that you can get from Couldn't Stand the Weather by Stevie Ray Vaughan, is a famous song that used this rhythm. So if you look, that rhythm is only really coming from my left hand. The hits are coming from my left hand, and the rhythm, you know, my right hand is doing the 16th notes. And if I didn't do those hits, it's just... Now, that whole funk rhythm stuff really takes a lot of time to get together. It all comes down to muting. So really be patient with it. Take it kind of slow. And I would recommend you listen to a lot of James Brown records. That's really where I kind of learned to put this stuff together. In the next section, we'll talk about how you can expand on this idea.